Hi everyone, and welcome to this last day of Digital Open Days by POLI.design. I'm Martina Galli, and I'm part of the staff of POLI.design, a society founded by Politecnico di Milano that today will present you its first level specializing masters and executive courses. I would like to remind you that at the end of each presentation, there will be a Q&A moment. So if you have any questions, please write them in the chat room. The master we are going to present is the Master in Industrial Design, Engineering and Innovation. And I would like to welcome and leave the floor to the director of the master, Professor Matteo Ingaramo.
Thank you, Martina. Hi, everyone. As she said, I'm the scientific director of the master. Actually, I am one of the founder of this master that is one of the oldest that are delivered by our postgraduate school. As you probably know, Polytechnic of Milan is quite renewed for some of the disciplines that are belonging to the field of design. One of those is product design. In Milan, we have a strong tradition in that. That is because of the manufacturing identity, highly manufacturing identity of our economy in Italy, and Milan is the most productive city in Italy. So that's why we have an industrial tradition here, and we have a lot of knowledge about merging creativity and production. Then, of course, there is an Italian understanding about design that was in Milan focused 20 years ago and was strategically recognized by Politecnico as one of the four pillars of the polytechnical knowledge. Here in Milan, we have 4 schools at Politecnico. 2 are schools of engineering. One is a school of architecture, and the other one is the only school of design existing in Italy. But the polytechnical culture, as you can easily understand, was, let's say, founded by the engineering knowledge. So we tried with this master to merge the quality of design creativity, the abilities of designer to conceive products and their functions, and to merge them with the knowledge, technical knowledge that is provided by the engineering culture. That's why this master is called Industrial Design, Engineering and Innovation, strictly connected to the idea that the products have a meaning, they have a value, but this value has to be translated and delivered, translated in a product and delivered to a user. Through what? Through companies, through industries, to producers that are partners of this master in each one of the steps of our teaching process. The goals of the masters are to train expert designers, to take care of the development of a product in all its stages, not only in the one that is about completing the identity of the product that is already set up by the industry, by the engineers, and aesthetically completed by designers. We would like to train our students to participate to the creation of the functional, technical, and aesthetical identity of the product since the early phases of the new product development process. Of course, we are not only training people that will be designer, but also design managers, product managers, or developers of a product if they are technically skilled. We like to involve students with different backgrounds. We have a lot of engineers admitted in the course, but we have also designers, but we also admit students that are coming from the material science or for industrial engineering background. Our objective is to combine those backgrounds in student teams that are dealing with our design studio that are going from the first day to the last day of the master class. Um, let's say that today, being a product designer in a global context could have a more value if we think that Milan is one of the cities of design, one of the capital of design, and as I was mentioning before, that Italy is the second manufacturing country all around Europe. Then our, let's say, reputation all around the world in conceiving products that are not only affordable but also appreciated by users in all the verticals of the quality is a part of our ambition to deliver to our students an approach and a method to the product design that has its own peculiarity in the Italian design history, but also in the more contemporary conception of design methodology that here at the Polytechnic of Milan is quite broad, and the limit of the design discipline are involving strategy, are involving material science, are involving services, are involving aesthetical issues, and so on. So we like to say that our approach in Milan is very holistic, but in this master we will work on the fact that our students will be able to be professionals that are able to converge all those factors into an object that is functional, that is sold on a shelf for a company brand, that is working, that has its own maintenance possibilities, and so on. Our teaching modules are divided in 4 macro areas. Basically, they are divided in 2 the teaching system. The first is more about design methodology, innovation, and economics, even material science and production processes. Then on the other side, we have 2 areas that are contributing to the growth of our students with seminars, so touching the professionals, touching and meeting the companies, living the design culture as is it's known in Italy. And fourth, but not last, that is very, very important, as I was saying, from the first day to the last day of the master, we deliver design studios. Basically, we have 3 activities of design studios. One of them is divided in 2 activities that are going deeper and deeper into the design development, and then I will talk to you about that. As you probably know, we are delivering 60 European credits, or CFU, that are the Italian university credits. Then our students are asked to do 320 hours of internship in a company or in a design studio, or delivering a professionalizing project. That's a special case that has to be discussed with the board of the master, just in case that you are not available for any reason for an internship. Here you have the modules of the master, as I was saying, contributing in both design practice and in design knowledge. The one that I would like you to focus on is the yellow part on the bottom of the slide, in which you can see that we have 3 workshops. The first workshop is about combining the concept with the structure of the product, its own layout, and its feasibility in terms of industrial feasibility, of course. Then we have a workshop 2 that is starting from the concept and going fastly to the feasibility in order to go for a third phase, that is the product development lab. Through the product development lab, we will front all the issues that are related to the transforming of an idea into a real product, making the right assessment and giving the right functional qualities and solutions to the product in order to be transformed in not only in a prototype but in a producible object. The workshop 3 is one that is more focused on additive manufacturing and the use of softwares and machines for 3D printing and, as I was saying, additive manufacturing, experimenting the new technique of self-production, but also prototyping for forecasting and testing the products, not only in terms of shape, but also in terms of functional parts, the one that are involving cinematics, the one that are involving mechanisms of a certain complexity that should be not only designed in theory or with a 3D model, but also tested in their reliability with a physical object. Here we have some examples about for workshop 1. It is about conceiving products and trying to work for areas of interest that are contemporarily affecting the usability field. So here we have some products that are defined, as you can see, in terms of technical details at a concept level. Here we have the workshop 2 approaches that are making conceptualization, giving to the product a layout that is given in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, no more. Then we go for the development and the detailing of all the parts of the object and the identification of by parts or given parts that are already in the catalog of the company that are making part of the production system of the company that we will work with. Both cases are linked to the cooperation with a company. In this case is Philips. We were working with Electrolux. We worked with Idea. We worked with Haier. We worked with the most renewed, but also the biggest company that are providing mass consuming products at a level of complexity that is an average. We don't like our students to front too much complexity in terms of technology, because that will be going into the acknowledgement or the gathering of informations that are too specific, and we could lose the methodological approach. So we used to say that we work with middle complexity products in order to let our students to front the complexity of the product structuring and not only the technical issues. But here you can see that we are not only working on the construction, but also on the function and the active performances of our products. That's an air treatment system with airflow and filtering system that was realized for Electrolux in recent times. The workshop 3, as I was mentioning, is made with machinery and softwares that are more related to additive manufacturing in order to experiment the potential, but also the abilities that are asked to a designer to go for that kind of design. That is a kind of specific field of product designers that could help the whole new product development process or be a part of the design process in se. Here you have some images about that. Just a couple of informations more. Our teaching hours that are dedicated to rhinoceros are related to a certification that is provided by McNeil directly. And about the final examination, we like our students to give a complete report about their internship in order to understand the progresses that our students made during the master and applied into a professional reality that could be a studio or a company, as I was saying before. Of course, we are going to rediscuss all the individual participation to a teamwork during the workshops, and we will consider all the progresses of the students, considering the assessment and the evaluations that we gave during the master taught hours. In general, what I like to say to my students is that the master is not about getting more informations about design of products, but the main ambition and our objective is to create professionals, or let's say young professionals, that are available and prepared to front the professional market, to go working on a company and to understand what a company is saying, and also what a company has as an objective and which are their purposes, and to talk the same language and being effective during your professional time and contributing to a value chain that is becoming more complex every day. So we will not only teach to other students, but we also simulate the professional attitude into our master, in order to let our students to experiment which are not only the drivers, but also the limits of our profession, and the ability to negotiate between our let's say expectations in terms of creativity and the needs of the time, the needs of the costs, and the limits and the constraints of technical feasibility. Those are mainly the outstanding qualities of our students that were that went working in companies, that are working in studios, and are considered, let's say, well trained in order to go for a professional experience in the early phase of your professional career. So we expect students that are available for that are expecting to become professionals, and to be able to deal with the complexity of the value of products, that is not only aesthetical, not only usability, and not only functional, but it has also other issues that has to be understood. Companies are welcome. Companies are making part of our program, and of course, we would like to have students that are available to experiment the cooperation with the big brands that have their own strategy, their own marketing policy, in order to include those constraints in the design studios. Thank you very much. Hopefully we will see in class if you will apply, or even better, if you will be admitted to our master. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so now let's start with the questions. At first, I ask people who are here in classroom if they have some questions for Professor Ingaramo. No? No questions? Okay. So the first one, I start with this one, is it possible to have further details about the product development lab?
As I was saying, I make an example in order you to understand better. This year we were working in partnership with Electrolux. Is a long-term cooperation. We were asked to redesign, starting from their platform of production, vacuum cleaners, cyclonic vacuum cleaners, in order to provide more experience to the users and more efficacy in the relationship between the human interaction, physical human interaction, and the suction of the dust that is cleaning the house. That was the workshop 2 brief. Then the workshop 2 is transformed in the new product development lab, in which we were detailing the processes of production. We were detailing the material selection. We were detailing the deformation of parts that were under force solicitation. We were assessing the batch size and the amortization of the investments. We were working on the definition of the parts in their assembly process, giving a hierarchy to the assembly and sub-assembly elements in order to analyze and assess the complexity of the product as a new platform, I would say, respecting and assessing which parts are already providing a sufficient solution and confirming them as part that were not to be changed because of that quality.
Thank you. The next question is, could you tell us the positions that some of the alumni have at the moment and in which type of companies?
We just made our summer break conference, and one of our student is now the design principal of 3M Europe. That's one of the case. He was delivering a speech for us. Some of them are design leaders in DeLonghi or in Haier. Some of them were they have a startup that are running their own business. In general, they all them started in a position of developer, then they become more responsible, and they make step ahead in their position in the company. We don't train chiefs, but we train professionals that are good in design development.
Okay, so the next one is, in the presentation, there were mainly projects of electronic devices. Is the master only focused on that type of product?
Is not only focused on that, but our position about that is that in order to give to our students the best, let's say, case to be a case for a design studio, we need a product that has a serial batch that is sufficient. We need some electronic part or electrical part, some motors, some mechanical parts. Then we have some static parts, of course, shields and physical active parts like handles, buttons, and so on. Then, of course, we need a basic interface. Most of these products are electronics or mass-consuming products. That is why we deal more with that. I would add also that mainly those products are available in any family or in any household. So the confidence of the designers with them is sufficient to don't have to gather specific information. But we feel and we know that this methodology could be declined in different fields because of that choice. We don't focus on electronic products because we like electronic products, but because they are the right case to provide the number of issues, the completeness of the issues that a designer has to provide.
Okay, thank you. The next one is, I've also seen the master in lighting design and technology. Could you explain the difference with that?
As the title says, they are focused on light, so the quality of light, the principles of lighting, and all the technical issues that are related to the light treatment and design, so color of light, intensity, and so on. Then it will be probably focused only on lighting products. We could, in this presentation, one of the first products that we were showing were lighting products, but without the technical detailing about the light performance, but the performance as an object. So I would say that should be asked to the scientific director of the lighting master. But in our master, we could talk about the largest range of product, including sometimes lighting products as products, not as lighting performance, but lighting design is focused on lighting products, and that's it. So you will never probably deal with a telephone or a camera or a dishwasher or a hairdryer, of course, because they are not lighting products.
The next one is, I have a degree in Bachelor's of Architecture. What should my portfolio include if I want to apply for this degree? I have architectural projects in my portfolio. Is it feasible?
Uh, of course, a portfolio is to show which are your abilities. So don't worry about showing your abilities in architectural design. My point is that, of course, architects are welcome, but the point is that in order to attend a postgraduate master in design, there are some gaps that you should fill with some readings, reading papers, books, and maybe even in softwares you could have some gaps. So be careful in considering that point. So we had and we have architects that are attending our course, but that they are conscious and aware that there is a gap that you have to fill during the course, but also with some extra addition in terms of courses, knowledge, and even let's say um, getting more design culture, living in Milan because you're asked to be here because it's a presence master, present teaching master, maybe living in Milan and visiting museums and getting all the design culture that here is anywhere could help you to make a fast introduction to the industrial design.
Okay, then I think the last one is I have an interest in footwear design and product design. What course specialization should I take? And there's a second part. Even though I take industrial design, can I opt for footwear courses as a major or minor?
No, we don't have options about the topics about our exercises in class. So we select some partners and we go for that choice that I was explaining, answering to the question before. So we try to select products and brands that have enough complexity in terms of technical complexity, brand complexity, usability complexity, and so on, in order to get a product that is a kind of sample in order to let us teach a methodology and an approach that could be declined in any case. Okay? So, but honestly, if you are so focused in cos'era food? No, cos'era?
No, footwear design.
Footwear design, you should look for a footwear design course that is specifically giving you skills about that. Footwear design is very similar to car design in some way. It has its own, let's say, field of work with specific abilities, specific supply chain, specific technologies. So I suggest you to assess and to consider very well that if you need a knowledge that is, in a broad sense, giving you the pillars of the development of a product, the ability to consider and to process all the technical information applied to any kind of object, this is the master for you, I think. If you are interested only in that field, honestly, I think that probably the best solution could be that you go for a detailing, a deeper knowledge in footwear design and with let's say, the topic that is leading the topic of the course.
Okay, so this was the last one. I ask again to the person who. Okay, just wait for the microphone to arrive because. Okay.
Acabo. Acabo. Arriba.
Thank you.
Okay, so how much having a personal project in the portfolio can help me entering this master? So what about if I only have project taken in university?
The portfolio is not something that is giving you an evaluation in terms of mark. It's not from 0 to 10. It's a good portfolio if it's 10. The portfolio is showing your abilities, but is making part of selection process that is starting from the equivalence and equivalence of your title. So if you have a bachelor or a master of science of any kind, and that is a polytechnical one, then we consider the quality of the school that you're coming from.
I come from the Poly.
Yes, that could be, but okay, welcome. Okay, but we all just to answer in a broad sense.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then if your portfolio is showing that you have abilities and interest in developing products, that is good for us. Okay, if it shows that you don't have enough skills in products because you have a background in architecture, for instance,
sure.
it's showing clearly that you have a gap and you need to fill it. Then the admission letter seems to be nothing, but is very important for us because your personal ambitions in terms of professional life are very important because product designers are of any kind. This master tries to deliver an education that is focused on being professional through the industrial production, in which the feasibility is not something that you have to deal with because you are asked to, but is a tool for making your design better and providing quality to the meaning of your design. So integrating fully the constraints of the production as one of the tool of the quality of your entire proposal in your professional career. That is the approach. So of course we have an interview, and in the interview we discuss with our students if they feel comfortable with that idea. Our students are stressed in terms of delivery of consistent products that are responding to the brief in a certain time with certain qualities, respecting even constraints that you don't agree with, that are making part of the daily life of professionals. So experimenting, even that, if you wanted that brutal process of working on design stuff and being expert enough to front not any kind, but the majority of the type of products that you could deal with in the early phase of your career, that is our understanding. So don't worry that much about the type of products, of the amount of products that you could show. Of course, your attitude in detailing, in going, in making yourself questions about how it's made, and making yourself questions about the quality of the material, the processes, and how that process is coming out in your design, about the selection of a surface quality that is feasible, is making 50% of the perceived quality. That's an attitude of the designers that is working with the technology as a tool for the design proposal. Those are the elements that we look for. There are not bad portfolios, but not consistent portfolios, if I could say that. So if your portfolio is strictly oriented to artisanry, handcrafting, and experimenting materials that are not serially reproducible and so on, it seems to be quite far away from our intentions. But could be that your portfolio is the starting point, declaring a gap, and your admission letter is talking about the fact that you would like to improve in the one that is not your knowledge now. So that's why a very committed person that is enthusiastic about filling a gap could be even an addition of elements that could make you attend the course. Then could be that even more if you are coming from Politecnico, some of those elements were already at your disposal. So consider carefully if that master is a step ahead for you. It could be if you consider that here you are the professional attitude that you put on top of your methodology. The rest is the experimenting with the life with the company and the projects that probably you are already confident with.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Martina, for your assistance and your presentation. Very kind. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you, Professor Ingaramo, and I would also like to thank you all for following this presentation and stay with us for the presentation of the next course.